Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Do not forget to smash that subscribe button. Air fresheners, deodorizers, de-stinkers. Now, you've often heard me say, if you look in my cars, the one thing I like to do is just keep them completely empty. So it's just like a car. I have a pet hate against having like all papers in there, like the glove box full of crap and pens and all that. I just want to leave it all empty. It's just my thing. Not everyone's the same, I know. Now, I also don't like hanging the air fresheners on there. I know some of you do. I had the Wax is Dead one hanging there and it looked kind of cool. But I don't usually like to do that. And like Imran's one there, you can hang it out, you know. But what I like to do is use this. So these are rattle can aerosol sprays, designer fragrance. I got this in a petrol store. I can't remember what I paid for it, but it was cheap. And I think Imran sells it, so I'll link it into Imran if he's got it. They do loads of different flavours, you know, smells. I would suggest you go with this Azul. It's just like a cool kind of fresh scent. Here's the really cool thing about these aerosols though. They are really potent. So like you don't sit there blasting it all out. You just literally, after you've vacuumed out your car and your mats, you just do this. Like that. That's it. All right? And close that door. And go around to your boot. Ah! It's hard to do this with one hand. And just like this, watch. Boop. Close the boot. Oh, don't slam it, John. And then this one, I've got to be careful. I've got solution finish on the door handles. It's just been doing that video on solution finish. So you can see all my trims are nice and black. And then in this one, boop. God, my aim was a bit wonky there. How do I close this without touching the door handle? Oh, no, that's a terrible job. Let's give it a bit more force. Here we go. That'll do. So what does it smell like? It smells a bit like a deodorant that you'd put on. It's just kind of like a fresh smell. It's not too like Lynx Africa, you know. It smells like you've been dumped in some chemical toxic factory with all sorts of funky little smells going. It's just like a clean, fresh deodorant smell, and it's pretty nice. You can get the cherry one, which is also decent, but it's a bit sweeter, so it just depends whatever you like. There's a vintage one which I think is good, and I'd avoid the black code one, I think, because that's a bit too like gangster nightclub aftershave type smell. So that's my thing, Azul. So check those out, guys. They're really good, and the smell lasts for a long time in the car. And if you just use them lightly, those rattle cans will really last. Don't blast them out. You empty them very, very rapidly. So yeah, that's a little tip on what I use on air fresheners. Really good. Obviously, with cars, you know, if you've got like a real stinking car, you can't always expect to just spray some air freshener in it and get it smelling really nice. Sometimes you've got to find the sort of source of the stink. Sometimes it can be like, you know, the carpets and upholstery and headlining have got sort of all sorts of stink and grease and tobacco in it. So, you know, extraction and wet vacuuming that, wiping all the leather down. Sometimes it could be nicotine in an old car. Sometimes the, you know, the aircon, you know, where it blows out, the air filter can be all loaded up with old ancient bacteria. So changing out the air filter and spraying some air freshener in the air filter, the cabin filter can really work. Sometimes, you know, you've got like, you're burning oil. You've had an oil leak and it's on the engine, and that smell sometimes gets into the cockpit. So, you know, fixing any oil leaks and things like that, and making sure you're not getting any horrible stinks from the cabin coming from the engine bay coming into the car and things like that. So sometimes it's more than just squirting that in there. But once you've got all your interior clean, you know, reconditioned and clean, and you've wet vacuumed it all, on an old car, then it just takes away a bit of that old smell and gives you a slightly fresher thing going on. So really good product. That's Designer Fragrance Air Fresheners. Let me know what you use. Yeah, could be interesting. Thanks for watching. See you soon.